Are you lonesome tonight? Let us serenade you with Priscilla and Elvis.
Okay, so we decided to do a double episode and basically a compare and contrast of two movies that are very, very much in conversation with one another.
But
And
so different.
yeah, and that take place during the same time period about the same people. So we are covering Priscilla by Sofia Coppola and Elvis by Baz Luhrmann. And the format of this one is going to be a little different, but just roll with it because we have a lot to say about both
Mm-hmm.
movies.
Oh my gosh, I have so much to say.
We did a lot of research for this one, so give it up to us because we deserve it. This is a meaty episode. So Lindsay, run us through Priscilla. When did it come out? Who's in it?
So, Priscilla, directed by Sofia Coppola, came out in 2023. It stars Kaylee Spaney as Priscilla Presley and Jacob Elordi as Elvis Presley.
And it was written by Sophia as well, right?
Yeah, it was written by Sofia Coppola, and I'll just say this now, but the entire movie was based off of Priscilla Presley's book, Elvis and Me, which I didn't know that. I honestly thought that when we first saw Priscilla in theaters, I thought Sofia Coppola was just like, yeah, fuck Elvis. I'm just gonna like create whatever I want about this story. Um,
Oh, because you didn't know it was based off a book.
yeah, I didn't know it was based off a book. And
Oh.
like it seems very, at least when it came out, it seemed very true to like the anti-man, uh, you know. Does that make
Agenda.
sense? Yeah, anti-man agenda.
The one that I'm single-handedly spearheading. I'm kidding, I'm
We are
kidding.
not about to get into the men's rights advocacy in this episode.
Keep us off of that algorithm. We're not a part of it.
No.
I am only here for women's wrongs.
And tell me about Elvis, the movie.
So, Elvis was directed by Baz Luhrmann, and that came out in 2022. And this version of Elvis and Priscilla is Austin Butler and Olivia DeJonge, and also basically stars Tom Hanks as Colonel Tom Parker. It's a completely different. How do I put this? It's a much larger scope of Elvis. It goes basically from cradle to grave. And it's a big movie that's, I think, almost an hour longer than Priscilla.
Yeah.
It's 2 hours and 40 minutes. It feels like it's going on 3 hours. It's crazy long. But it covers all of Elvis's entire life, basically. Whereas Priscilla is more focused on Priscilla ages 14 to when does she leave him? 25?
Yeah, I feel like she had her first daughter when she was 21,
Yeah.
or they got married when she was 21.
Mm-hmm.
Then they had her daughter. Yeah, she probably was like 25, 26.
26, perfect, nailed it. Yeah, so Priscilla's just like a much tighter timeline. It's only covering about a 10-year period, whereas
Yeah,
Elvis is covering a 40-year period.
it's so funny in Priscilla. So I watched Priscilla first and then Elvis, and
Oh,
the
really? I
like,
did the opposite.
oh, that's funny.
Oh.
The I guess the short, teeny little period of what Priscilla was based on, Elvis covered in like 5 minutes.
I had the exact same thing in my notes. I put the um hold on, let me find it.
Yeah.
There it is. I put that they glossed over Elvis and Priscilla's entire courtship, never mention her age, which is a big thing that we have to discuss when it comes to their
Yeah.
relationship. And it's a 5-minute sequence within a 160-minute movie. um, and it's crazy how much Baz Luhrmann chose not to focus on this massive part of Elvis's life, you know?
Yeah. I
It
have so much to say about all of that.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So a little rundown of Baz Luhrmann. This is only his sixth movie, even though he's been making movies since like the early 90s. Of course, he did Romeo and Juliet, he did Moulin Rouge, he did the Leo DiCaprio Great Gatsby, but he really does not make a lot of movies. I cannot believe he's been around for like 30, 40 years and this is only his sixth movie. It just the amount of time he takes on a project is crazy. And in the case of Elvis, I'd say about 50% of it wasn't worth it. I'll be so honest. Half of this movie I absolutely hated, and the other half I was enthralled. It's crazy. There was like a very distinct split, I feel like, in tone and in style between the first part of his life all the way to the 1968 comeback. I pretty much hated all of that. And then from the 1968 comeback special until his death, girl, I was locked in. I was supposed to be packing boxes. I kept sitting down at the kitchen table and just like staring. I was in. Austin Butler is so fucking good in this movie.
He is. He is really good.
You did not warn me for that. So you had seen this movie before, right?
I've actually seen this a couple times now.
Wow. Okay.
Like maybe this might have been my third time watching it.
Holy shit. Okay, that's like 9 hours. So
Yeah. I am going to be so real. I think, okay, putting aside how inaccurate a lot of this is, I think it's a good movie.
Okay. Okay. See, I can't. I was sure you were going to come here and be like, oh, I hate this movie so much. And then it was just going to turn into us like dunking on it for the whole episode. But I really did not want to do that. So I'm very relieved to hear you say that like you actually like it. I think
Yeah.
if you like Moulin Rouge and Romeo and Juliet, there is a lot to like there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just so cartoonish.
It is. It's when you put that in the notes, it like made something in my brain click. I think it's the Tom Parker character.
Oh my god,
I think
dude.
something about him just really throws off like the whole premise.
It really does. And I found that so fascinating that he's not in Priscilla at all.
Yeah. Yeah, that is crazy to me because
that's the biggest compare and contrast right there is like Elvis is all about his manager, quote unquote, business manager, shyster kind of character, Colonel Tom Parker, who by the way was not a Colonel Tom or Parker. He's like this con man, which they painstakingly go out of their way to tell us like 50,000 times about the snowman, the snow, he's making snow, he's a snowman, he's a grifter, he's a carnival barker. But anyway, Elvis is basically all about Tom Parker, which is crazy, played by Tom Hanks. Baffling choice. And then Priscilla, what's his presence in Priscilla?
He doesn't even have one. I think he's mentioned maybe like once or twice by Elvis, but that's it.
That's it.
Like he's not in it at all.
We don't see him. We don't hear him. It's crazy. Because like 2 hours of Elvis is about Tom instead of Elvis and not about Priscilla at all. She has maybe 3 to 5 speaking scenes in a nearly 3-hour movie. The differences are like night and day. So I thought this would be like a really good way to kind of discuss the same story from 2 completely different approaches and 2 completely different time periods within that story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's wild. So where do you want to start?
Dude, I don't even know. So when I learned that Priscilla was based off of a book that Priscilla Presley wrote, it changed so much.
How so?
I think because it's from her perspective, and something that Sofia Coppola talked about is she tried her best to not make this distasteful towards anyone, but just laying down the facts of the perspective that Priscilla had. And
like the firsthand experience of being with him.
Yeah. But I think Elvis is so commercial. And one thing about me, I love a biopic about a musician.
That is shocking, and I feel like this is something we've never talked about before. That's one of my least favorite genres, Lindsay. Oh, I
Really?
fucking hate them.
Wow. I
I hate them
I
almost always. I
wow.
hate a formula, and they're extremely formulaic. It's just like the hard childhood. They mock it very well
Yeah.
and walk hard, of course, but
Yeah.
every music biopic, I feel like it's the same five ingredients just tossed together, and I get so tired of the tropes. I get so tired of the like cheesy way in which they show people like discovering quote unquote their greatest hits, like
Yeah.
in a complete unknown, when you just see Bob Dylan like sitting at a desk writing the lyrics to, like a Rolling Stone. I can't stand him. I hate I've never
I
seen
haven't
Bohemian
seen that one.
Rhapsody. I've never seen Rocket Man. Um I have seen A Complete Unknown, which was just fine. It felt exactly like Ray, Walk the Line, all the other ones. I don't
Okay,
know.
well, let me clear the air cuz
Hmm.
some of them I definitely won't like, but when I say biopics for musicians, I mean like Ray. I really liked Ray.
Hmm.
Dreamgirls and Cadillac
Oh
Records.
fuck yeah. Love
Uh
Dreamgirls. Even though Dreamgirls isn't a real story, Dreamgirls fucking slaps. And it's
yeah,
based off of the
so good.
Supremes, so I include it. Good pull there.
I think though it's I just love hearing like a raw voice. There's nothing that gets me going more.
That I could see that. Maybe it's something about the way that like live performances in movies always feels so like cheesy. Like you can't replicate that live experience very well.
Yeah.
But I feel like, again, in defense of Elvis, which I did not really like half of this movie, the musical performances, oh my God, they're incredible. I
The
think
very
that's,
ending,
oh, chills.
that,
When he's at
yeah,
the piano,
chills. Chills. And when it transitions into real Elvis
I
in the
cried.
live, yeah.
That shit got me. I was like, I am
Hmm.
nearly 3 hours into this slog of a movie that first I thought was going to give me a fucking seizure. And then by the end, I'm like weeping at live footage of Elvis. Like, I don't even care about this man. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't even like him. Like, what am I doing? But
Yeah, it
it's
just, it
so
gets you.
effective.
Yeah.
Exactly. It gets you.
Something about the beginning too, like the slow ease into his music. I
Yeah.
really liked the beginning too.
That's interesting. I hated the beginning. I literally hated it until the 1968 comeback special, pretty much. I was so checked out and just completely irritated by the way it was kind of distorting a lot of facts about Elvis, and how it was kind of completely not acknowledging Priscilla's like existence. I don't think it really did a good job of displaying how crazy he became with, the drug abuse and the paranoia. And honestly, I'll say it, a lot of the like psychological abuse that the
Yeah.
colonel was putting him under, like, I thought that once he finally did kind of crack and rebel, and when he has the breakdown at the Vegas show when he's screaming at the colonel, um I thought Austin Butler was lights out from then on. But the movie really kicked in for me at the 1968 comeback special. The first hour and a half plays like a fairy tale to me. Like it felt like
Yeah.
a comic book movie. It was extremely distracting visuals. It was very frantic. The fourth wall breaking was killing me, and I fucking hate wall to wall narration, and especially in Tom Hanks's like busted ass Dutch accent.
Yeah.
The
The
narration,
narration, it
oh,
was annoying. It was really annoying. And it was so like unfitting to a story about Elvis.
it drove me fucking crazy. Yeah, it literally felt like a fairy tale. It was very much in that like Moulin Rouge type of very, very, very cheesy, like big, like you said, commercial kind of mass appeal, I don't know, sugary kind of existence. It was nutty. The first hour and 10 minutes of this movie are batshit. So the production of Elvis was very, very troubled because they were shooting this during COVID. So the original release date was October 2021. And because of COVID, they missed that by like 8 months, basically.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so the movie didn't come out until June of 2022, but this originally was supposed to come out way earlier than it did. They had to shut down several times, as we all know, infamously. Tom Hanks was the first celebrity to like catch
Oh my
COVID.
gosh, that's right.
That was
That's
during
so
this
funny.
movie. They shot this movie in Australia, which was completely locked down. So like Austin Butler has said that he basically like lost his mind for 2 years because he was like trapped in Australia and couldn't leave to even make this movie. Um
No wonder he went crazy with the
I
accent.
was just gonna say I feel kind of bad for making fun of him as much as they did now that I've seen it. I feel really bad. I kind of want to walk it back a little because I've been dogging on this man for like 3 years. And then I saw the movie and I was like, damn, he's really fucking good though. I get it. I get it. He felt like there was so many times where I literally forgot he was acting and I forgot that it wasn't actually Elvis. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy. I settled so far into his performance. It was like I said, enthralling. He just really captured Elvis physically and I felt like emotionally so well. Very different vibe than Jacob Elordi's performance, which we'll get into, but it just read as very like sincere and sympathetic and vulnerable.
Hmm.
And there was just a different flavor than what Jacob Elordi presented in Priscilla. And I mean that's with good reason. It's from a completely different perspective. You know, it's from the woman in his life who was at the hands of his abuse, for several years. So, yeah, I get why they're different. It's just interesting the way that Baz Luhrmann presented Elvis in this version of the Elvis story.
Okay. It, it feels weird to talk about it because I think in a lot of ways, Priscilla Presley doesn't say that she was abused,
Yeah, that's
but
also true.
when you watch the movie, it's like she's obviously being abused.
Yeah.
And then when you watch Elvis, it's like so extracted from like how he was treating her. And it's like I don't know. And I will say that I think two truths can exist at once, but
hmm
it's just like where's like the actual version of what happened?
I was totally thinking that last night while I was packing. I was like, I think it's really I came back to that old saying of like, there's always three versions of every story. There's one side, the other side, and then the truth. And it's generally a mix of both. And it's completely dependent on whose perspective and the impact of certain actions that kind of guide that perspective and that truth. And I felt like looking at Elvis before looking at Priscilla, maybe did Austin Butler's just so good. Maybe it did kind of make me oddly a little more sympathetic than I felt like I would have been had I watched it the other way around. I think
Yeah.
that getting to see him be vulnerable and go through so much pain, and we get none of that in Priscilla's version or just the movie version of Priscilla's book. We don't get any of that because she wasn't around for a lot of that. So I felt like it gave like a different it gave better depth to Elvis's personal life and his actual persona.
Yeah, it explained a lot,
hmm
I guess.
And it wasn't trying to justify his behavior like, oh, it's okay that he did what he did because he was on drugs or because he was sad that his mom died or what have you. It was it added more depth, more flavor to who he was as a person. And Again, I've never given a shit about Elvis like in my life. I've never cared. I never really liked him or his music. I just, as a Black American, I have very complicated um, feelings about Elvis as a cultural icon, and I feel like a lot of the way that he even ascended to fame was very underhanded and at the complete disregard and kind of usage of black art, you know, and black bodies. He took our dance moves, he took our style, he took our hairstyle, just so much of Elvis's fame and persona is wrapped up in a very complicated way with the subjugation of Black Americans in this country at that time. And I felt like Priscilla wasn't really grappling with that at all, which is fair, whatever. Like, that's not what her story was about, really. But I felt like Elvis, the movie, it felt very misguided. It's weird. How do you feel about it? Like, I appreciated that they tried to kind of acknowledge that, but I just think that it was still off. And again,
Yeah.
it's one of those times where I could tell that the director isn't American. And
Mm.
this is exactly how I felt about Civil War with Alex
Yeah.
Garland. I was like, "You're British. You just have this all wrong." Like, I can feel that you don't really actually know deeply about American culture, especially American Southern culture. The whole Virginia sequence, and there's just something that I was like, "Yeah, this is definitely written by a non-American," and I
Yeah.
felt that here as well because Baz Luhrmann, I believe, is Australian and white, and it just doesn't feel, how do I put this? It doesn't feel authentic, and it kind of portrays Black people like props and plot devices.
Yeah.
And that's what I knew I was getting out of the first half, especially. Maybe that's also why I was so down on it. It's just hard for me to, be like objective about that kind of thing. Um, how do you feel about how Baz like approached the racial undertones of Elvis's
It
career?
it was really weird how like casually and subtly they would throw in him stealing songs
Yeah.
and
Clothes.
dance moves, clothes, style, and just be like, oh yeah, like this was his influence. And yeah, like maybe not being American and understanding the full impact that that has. I don't know, I didn't like in Priscilla, they had the opportunity to make him even seem worse if they would have thrown in like how racist it is or
Yeah,
how racist some of his like actions are.
right.
But they like still centered the whiteness of it all. Like
Yeah,
even it still being a white woman,
the white womanhood.
there's like
Yeah, that's kind of
where's the intersectionality?
no, there is none, and that's kind of my biggest knock against Sofia Coppola as well. I'll tell you what, I fucking love her as a director. She's one of my favorite directors, but that lady has never had a Black person in her movies who wasn't like a maid, you know, or I think that's it, a maid, a waiter, a servant of some sort. Like, I really just think like she has that kind of Wes Anderson attitude towards like
Yeah.
blackness where like it just doesn't exist. you know, for the most part. And so yeah, Priscilla, it's just the maid character. As we're trying to look up her name and give her props, we can't even fucking
It's like,
find her.
not important enough.
I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling.
Like, not important enough. Let's put the math teacher that
Math
was so
teacher.
important.
Schoolgirl number 1. Girl at party. Olivia
Literally,
Barrett. Olivia
girl
Barrett.
at party.
Yeah, literally. I found it. Olivia Barrett as Alberta. That's the
Alberta.
only Black character in all of Priscilla, I'm pretty sure, except for like background people, and that's very typical of Sofia Coppola's work, as I said, which is disappointing. It is what it is. I'm not gonna sit here and beg for inclusion for people who don't want to include us. Like, just don't then. Like, it's you clearly have like a very different agenda and a very different perspective and a very different story that you're trying to tell through your work. And, that's what it is. And I think that's where I do have to give, even though he's not even American, Baz Luhrmann a little bit of credit, I guess, for even trying. But
Yeah.
the approach is so weird. It's so just like you said, kind of nonchalant and like flippant.
Yeah,
Like,
I
oh
don't
yeah, and
like
BB
that.
King, it's his buddy. And I'm like, do you know what BB King looks like? Because the actor who played him was like 10 years younger than he should have been at that time and like 5 shades lighter, like just didn't look like him at all, to the point where they said like, "Oh, that's BB King." And I was like, "Oh, that's who that's supposed to be?" So, it's like, which is worse? Pick your poison, I guess. As a black person, I lose either way. So, it's you got to love it.
Yeah, I don't like with movies where you should be learning things. This is so inaccurate.
Mhm.
And like all of the people that are going to watch this and be like, "Oh, Elvis was cool with everyone." And
The Little Richard scene was crazy. Um, the BB King scene was crazy. The but the one thing where I literally almost turned off the movie and texted you, I don't want to fucking do this episode. was like, I want to say it was what, maybe 10 minutes into the movie when Colonel Tom Parker hears Elvis on the radio for the first time and he's like, "Oh, I
oh,
can't do anything with him. He's a Negro." And someone is like, "No." And the camera like zooms in like a fucking cartoon character and it's like, "He's white." And
oh my, wait, pause. The guy that said that, do you recognize him?
no, it wasn't. I wasn't paying
He's the
attention.
son from Power of the Dog.
Oh, yes, Cody Smith McPhee.
Yeah, yeah. When I saw him, I was like, "Oh my God."
I totally forgot. Yes, Cody Smith McPhee is in this movie. He's white. Everyone's like, "He's white. He's white. He's white." I was like, "What is this?" I almost turned it off, Lindsay. That was egregious. That was so out of pocket. Like he's music Jesus, It was very like, Lisan Al Gaib? Lisan Al Gaib! Lisan Al Gaib! I was like, please stop. Please stop. We get it. He's fucking white. Stop. Move on. This is crazy. Like, what? Y'all are dragging it. Um, so yeah, a lot of this movie was just very unserious. To me, compared to Priscilla,
Yeah.
which is much more like genuine, I guess. Earnest, is that the word I'm looking for?
I want to mention the differences that the movies did in the box office.
For sure. Yeah, I think that's an important point to hit. Yeah, this movie made a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
Damn.
And it makes so much sense.
Okay, go ahead.
So Priscilla had a budget of $20 million.
Which is tiny.
Her box office earnings were $33.1 million.
Which is also very low. They did make their money back though, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
But after marketing and PR, they maybe broke even. Depends on what the budget was for A24. We don't really know. They always kind of fudge the numbers on those. As compared to Elvis, which had an $85 million budget, it took 9 visual effects companies to complete all of the CGI and VFX in this movie. 9 companies. That's like a goddamn Marvel movie. Um, and it made 288 million worldwide against
That
that
is
$85 million budget.
crazy.
super high. Super high. I mean, again, it's a very stark difference in budget and reception. Um, and just I guess marketability? Yeah, and the marketability of a female-led, small, indie, personal story, memoir versus basically like a cartoonish, fictionalized musical sing-along Moulin Rouge style biopic about one of the most popular singers of all time. I think he's the highest selling solo artist of all time to this day.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
Michael
they have it.
Jackson is right behind him.
They have that as a little line at the end.
Yeah, I hadn't looked it up if it's changed though since then. This movie is a little, it's been a few years, so it could have changed. I know it flip-flops between him and Michael Jackson quite a bit, which ironically, Michael Jackson was married to his daughter. Um,
Yeah, that's crazy.
so it's basically changed between the Presley family, back and forth in one way or another for decades, decades. Yeah. So, what did you want to say about the budgets and the box office and all that?
Well, I think when you look at who Elvis was being written for in order to like be profitable and marketable to society,
Hmm.
like I mean, he was written in a way of like comforting a white audience.
Yes. Just talk about it.
And when you look at how much money it made compared to the literal exact same concept in Priscilla,
Yep. And the
it's
more
crazy.
uncomfortable and probably a little more realistic
Yeah,
version of who he was during
yeah.
that time period, especially, once drugs got into the mix. Yeah. People don't want to see that shit.
Mm-mm.
Clearly.
Not about their Elvis.
Not about their Elvis. Yeah. I when I was doing research for this movie, I had to wade through so many psychotic like Elvis defenders on YouTube, on Reddit, on Quora, on
I saw stuff on Corju. I was like, really?
oh, they were going hard. It's been like 60 years and these people won't give it up. They're like, "No, Elvis didn't do anything wrong and Priscilla was lying." I'm like, I mean, probably not though, right? Because she lived with them for years and you
Like
don't
she
know
was a
him.
So, if anyone doesn't know, when they first met, she was 14 and he was 24.
10-year age gap. She was in ninth grade
Yep.
when their quote unquote love story begins. And it is so hard to watch in Priscilla. Like the movie starts with her as like a tiny schoolgirl, like baby.
Yeah, I love uh the way Kaylee acted
Me too. Me too.
and like her voice progression to show how little she actually was.
I love that choice. And it's something I didn't notice. I think the first time that we saw Priscilla together. Oh, by the way, we saw this movie together.
Yeah.
This was one of our Alamo binges. We also saw this with Elizabeth, if you're listening. Hi, Elizabeth.
Oh
I
my
love
gosh,
you.
yeah.
Um, I think that was your first time meeting her, and we were like,
Hmm.
hey, you want to come to the movies with us and watch a fucking bummer?
Absolutely.
But yeah, the three of us saw that movie together, I think the week it came out. Because the Alamo was one of the only places even. Well, that was the other thing. Um, Regarding box office, Priscilla wasn't even playing most places. It was playing on like the major cities, in like indie movie theaters and the coasts, East and West Coast, basically. It was not playing in some of the smaller markets. It wasn't playing on 3,000 screens like Elvis was. It played maybe half that audience. So again, it was never gonna be anywhere near as successful. And like you said, it is also a much less commercially appealing story to tell. But where was I
And
going with
based off
this?
of the book Elvis and Me, like Sophia really made it very appropriate. She made it much more PG.
Ah, I see what you mean. Yes. Yeah, she She didn't do quite the squeaky clean sanitization that Baz Luhrmann tried to put on the story, but she did hold back as well, which I didn't know until you put that in the notes. So Elvis was a Warner Brothers production. Speaking of, large versus small production companies. And when I was in LA last year on my tour that I love to bring up so much, this I can't remember if this was at the Academy of Motion Pictures Museum, which is my favorite place on earth, or if this was at the WB Studios, because I went to both tours. Highly, highly, highly recommend, especially the Academy Museum. But I also did the Warner Brothers tour, and I think it was there. Maybe it was at the other exhibit. I saw Austin Butler's pink costume from Elvis
Was it
in
Austin
person.
Butler's? It was Austin Butler's, like not Elvis's actual
It
costume?
was Austin Butler's costume from Elvis. It was already on display in the museum at the time, and that was 2024. So that's how big this movie was. I've never seen no Priscilla anything, a commercial, a poster. Um, I've never seen those costumes on display, even though they're fucking beautiful. Elvis really hit in a much bigger way than I guess I had realized because I don't care about music biopics and I usually don't even watch them. But yeah, that costume is gorgeous in person.
Yeah, when I saw it in the movie, I was like, I want that outfit, that
Yeah,
suit.
I don't remember if I ever sent you the picture of it. I'll send it to you after we're recording, but after we're done recording. But yeah, it's the costumes are incredible. I will give Baz that. That man knows how to put on a show. A show. The costumes are so vibrant
Yeah, they're
and
just
flashy,
crisp.
crisp. Um, the hair and makeup is also really good. Tom Hanks, not some. I don't know. I felt weird about
Yeah,
his like weird fat
he
suit
just made me
thing.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't know how I felt about that. By the way, that took 5 hours to get in and out or to get into every day. That's crazy.
That's yeah, it's kind of hard to believe because I know they did some CGI on top of the special effects, especially on Austin Butler.
Oh, they did?
I think so because there were a lot of moments where you could tell that his jaw was a little messed with. Um,
Oh,
there's
see, I
one
thought I
scene,
thought that was makeup.
maybe it was makeup, I don't know, but he had kind of like a Squidward jaw in some moments.
You mean handsome Squidward?
Yes, handsome Squidward jaw, and it looked a little CGI.
Oh, that's interesting. I wonder. Ooh, see, I thought that was just like prosthetics, but I got so lost in his performance half the time. I literally was
You're
like,
like, I'm watching Elvis
I'm
right
watching
now.
Elvis. This is crazy. Um, he looked so he, so the way that Austin Butler even got this role is actually insane to me. He he auditioned he sent in a self record where, it's obvious you record yourself auditioning for a part, whatever, like in your apartment when you can't get to the place in person, just like a self tape they call it. And he sent a self tape when the casting call was made for this movie of him in a bathrobe, like just sitting at a piano, I think, like singing and like crying about his mother, who he also lost like Elvis at 23. And Baz Luhrmann saw the footage and was like, this is so raw and so beautiful. And I guess, I mean, obviously he's a strong singer too. He's really singing and dancing in this movie. Everything up until I think the early 70s, like Vegas era, that's all just Austin Butler singing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh
He's
my gosh.
fucking insane in this movie. So, whatever he sang in the audition, I believe it was Unchained Melody,
Oh,
and he was just like crying in a bathrobe and Baz Luhrmann was like, "That guy's a fucking psycho." bring him in. Bring him in. And it worked.
The scenes where Elvis's voice was, I guess, adapted into, is that the right way to word it?
Like blended.
Yeah, the way Elvis's voice was blended into the performances was kind of amazing, especially with Priscilla, because we don't get much of music at all.
I meant to bring that
Um,
up. Yeah. Yeah.
but
There's
the way they just
basically
like factor Elvis's voice just right in is so funny, but also so cool to just listen because, I mean, hate to
it's
admit it, but Elvis is talented.
I know.
He's got a nice voice.
I know. If we must say so, yes, he's
Like,
talented.
guy can sing,
Yes, he
I
was good
guess.
looking. Yes.
I don't know. Some pictures I see of him, he's cute, but some, he just looks a little funky.
Um, I think I land on the side of he's cute, most of the time. He, yeah, I think I land on he's cute. Not super hot, but he's definitely cute.
He's cute. He's got a nice smile.
Yeah, great lips, like
Yeah.
great smile, very like cheeky face,
Hmm.
which I love because I suffer from the same affliction. Baby faces unite. One of the biggest differences is that Baz Luhrmann very much made his movie focused around the vocals and performances and the singing and dancing of it all. And Priscilla has none of that. We see like a quick little flash, and it's just Jacob Elordi's back, and you don't even hear him singing, I don't think, and it's just him waving like one of the capes around when he's at the Vegas part of his career, right?
Um,
I think that was during the Vegas residency when we see like a quote unquote performance in
yeah,
Priscilla, but that's
there were just
it.
a few sprinkled out, and it's very intentional to like show just how little Priscilla heard of her pop star husband's voice. Just such a silent movie.
Yeah. Yeah, she really didn't get to experience him the way that the rest of the world did. And I think that was great. That was something I really loved about Coppola's version of the story. If you want to speak to that a little bit more, like the isolation of Priscilla and the quietness.
Yeah, I think in the Elvis movie, I mean, truly breeze over the entirety of Priscilla. And a lot of it was just her waiting by a phone
Yep.
to be Elvis's beck and call.
Yeah.
And
And sorry, go ahead.
I'm no, I'm probably about to tangent a little.
No, I have thoughts about about that. Yeah, the whole waiting by the phone and all that.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, yeah. Wait, I wrote down that specific thing that he said.
yeah, that leads me into a similar point, which is I think we're getting to the same destination. We got to talk about Elvis's mommy issues and
Wait, did I say what I was about to say?
no.
That's what I was going to talk about.
Yeah, I know. I know. I could feel it. I read your mind.
Oh my God,
Um
that's so funny.
because as soon as you said, "Oh, she had to wait by the phone at his beck and call," I was like, "Yeah, just like his mommy did."
Yeah. And then his mommy died,
Yep.
and immediately he met Priscilla.
Yes. Yes, it's like a six month window or something between when his mother passed away and when he was overseas in the army in Germany and met a ninth grader named
Yes.
Priscilla Beaulieu.
And I want to mention the guy that introduced them,
Yes.
Curry Grant. And this was in the book, Elvis and Me. He introduced her to Elvis as the girl I told you about, which is so weird because why are you
So
talking at all about a 14-year-old? Like, why is that
he was
occupying
scouting
your
her.
time?
He was
Yeah.
scouting her. So Curry basically like handpicked Priscilla and like gave her to Elvis as like a
Yeah.
treat, like a present.
Yeah.
It's so creepy, like the child bride of it all. It's so, oh my God. I think that, I mean, we don't even see that in Elvis at all. Like they don't show any of that. They jump straight to that one scene of them like where she's talking about like her parents in a bedroom and he's like swooning at her like, oh my god, she's so cute. Never mention her age, never mention why. She's like, well, my mom said and my dad said, yeah, because she's a child. They
Mm-hmm.
skip over all that completely and then they just flash forward to they're married and she's now the like jealous like bitter wife who doesn't want him to like love the fans and to pay attention to the fans as much because she's not getting the attention, which such a crazy, insane take. When one of the worst pieces of dialogue in Elvis, and there are many, is when Tom Hanks's voiceover when he says like um what did he say? Like drugs didn't kill Elvis, love did. He
Yeah.
loved all of you so much, and that's why he died. I'm like, are you out of your fucking mind? That man was on 19,000 doses of narcotics when he finally fucking died. What love is that? Like, what are you talking about? And like the way when Elvis and like a scene prior when one of the few scenes that Priscilla's even in where they portray her as like this jealous, bitter wife who is just like pouting at the Vegas show because he's kissing fans and they love him so much. And the voiceover that the Colonel gives is like, she knew that she could never compete with you and how much you loved him and she basically saying like Priscilla ain't shit and she knew it and that she was always jealous of the fans for the way that Elvis loved them. And I was like, where are you getting that from? Is that part of her book? Did she ever say that? Was she nasty to his fans? Maybe, but I'm not singing any of that. And Sofia Coppola is not that's not the story she's telling. She's never like, "Oh, it's the fans' fault or it's the way that Elvis interacts with the fans is what, drove Priscilla away." No, bitch, it was probably the drugs. It was probably the fucking drugs and, the violent outbursts.
She was fully like held captive, kind of like a Stockholm syndrome type of thing.
Oh, literally, since she was a child. So, yeah, like you said, they met when she was 14, and then he moved her back over to the States to live with him at Graceland when she was, what, 16?
Yeah, when she was 16. Because they skipped over this, but he went like 2 years kind of in no contact and then just moved her to Graceland.
He had his hooks in her from ninth grade on. From ninth grade on, she's sitting by the phone waiting for Elvis to talk to her.
Yeah, and one thing that he said in Priscilla when he said, it's either me or career. When I call, I need you to be there for me.
Yeah, that's exactly what they say, almost something verbatim in Elvis when Elvis is talking to his mother and she says something and he says something like, "Well, I need you to." Oh no, he says like, "Oh yeah, I have to have my mom has to be by the phone. I talk to her every single day and every single
Mm-hmm.
night. She has to be by the phone or something like that." And I was like, "Oh, you literally just replaced your mom with like a child and
Yeah,
like
and
made her your like surrogate mommy."
we haven't even mentioned how he had the same nickname for both of them.
Bitch. Bitch, I wrote that down. I
Oh
wrote
my
that down.
God. So
I
disgusting.
was
Like, that is
sick.
weird behavior.
I was sick. There it is. I
Yes.
have the exact
Which is like, what does that even mean?
Okay, so I did a little research on this. Great question. So the nickname, the same pet name that he had for his mother and his wife, his child bride, was Satinin. And there's two different conflicting sources where people think that he got that nickname from, but he called his mother that first, obviously. And people always thought it was like a very, very southern way of saying shortening, like 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 Crisco, like shortening, like you're in a way like something that's very like rich, very like fatty, very like kind of it's used in sweets a lot, you know, like it's like calling someone like, you know, my shortening bread, like something like that. But like the southern way would be like satinin. So that's where people say it came from. And then another story is that it was his like again very southern dialect, a way of saying satin, like soft skin,
Mm.
satin skin.
Interesting.
So I don't know which is true and which was the actual source. He had a lot of goofy nicknames for people. Um, like his grandmother, he called Dodger, like just really out there kind of nicknames. But yeah, the fact that he wanted Priscilla to sit by the phone and be there when he calls, just like his mom, and gave her the same pet name. And later on in life, had another girlfriend named Linda that he called Mommy.
Oh my God.
um, yeah, yeah, the mommy issues are issuing. It's crazy. He had deeply like psychological issues when it came to women and womanhood. He shared a bed with his mother until he was like in his mid to late teens. Yeah. And
Ew.
uh-huh. And I think that and I was kind of reading like this creepy vibe in the Luhrmann version of it. Again, we never see his mother in Priscilla. She's already dead when the movie starts.
Mhm.
So like seeing that, I think again that's why I'm glad I watched Elvis first, because seeing his relationship with his mother, and it's so, I don't know if it meant to come off so fucking like creepy and
It's
incesty,
just weird, yeah.
but it does. It really does. Like he treats her like his girlfriend, and it it's very uncomfy and weird. And it made me look at Priscilla a lot differently, the movie. Um, because I just felt like, oh, that's why he's so like threatened by her when she wants to get a job, or wants to when she wants to like take a stand. Anytime that Priscilla like stood up for herself, or he called her like aggressive or demanding.
Yeah.
When she played was pillow fighting with him and he hit her like the first time I think he was violent with her, he said that she was masculine because she like hit him with a pillow. He had like really weird issues with women, and I thought that the two movies combined actually give like a full spectrum, like broader sense of that
Yeah.
picture, which I didn't know. I don't know if you knew anything about this. I didn't know anything about his relationship with his mother until
No,
these two movies.
there's a lot I didn't know about Elvis until this.
Yeah. Yeah, same. But yeah, the mother, the mommy issues and the weird like women issues, I think that both movies did a really good job of showing like in Elvis you see like the cause, and then in Priscilla you see the effect.
Yeah.
I guess is the way I would put it.
Yeah, that's a good
Um
way to put it.
Thanks. So what else what other aspects of Priscilla did you want to touch on and how they relate to Elvis?
I really want to talk about how resilient Priscilla was.
Yeah.
I think, given especially Elvis getting her hooked on drugs and her somehow
Oh my God,
getting
we didn't even
herself
talk
out
about
of
that.
that. Yeah. Something that was in the book. After Elvis started encouraging Priscilla to take drugs, there was one instance where he gave her two red pills, which led to her being woken up and revived by his grandma.
Yeah.
And that was 2 days later.
Yeah. That was in Priscilla. Again, that's not in Elvis at all.
Yeah.
At all. That scene was so scary. That he started giving her drugs to stay awake in school when she was what? 16? No. She was still 14, right? It was when she was over in Germany still.
Did he?
I think it was when she was still in Germany, which means she was like 14 or 15.
That's right. Yeah. Because, yeah, they showed her in school in Germany.
Like
Sorry, that was
tweaking on.
just repeating
Yeah.
exactly what you just
No, it's
said.
okay. Yeah, just like tweaking on speed at 14 years old. Can you imagine? It's just like such a. I can't imagine being in a relationship like that and then also like being drugged on top of it and
Yeah.
like not like your brain isn't developed, your body isn't developed, you have no sense of self whatsoever. Priscilla never lived on her own.
Nope.
She's never lived on her own. She barely graduated high school and was already like a kept woman. He basically kept her like a pet
Mm-hmm.
once he moved her over to Graceland. And yeah, I think you're right. She was super resilient and that was probably so scary and so hard to leave after like 10 years of that. Her entire developmental years were gone, were lost. Her fucking I meant to put this in the notes, but um did you notice that she left him the second her frontal lobe developed?
Oh my gosh. Of course.
That frontal
Such a
lobe
slay.
developed such a slight. She was like, she woke up at like 25, 26 and was like, wait a damn minute.
She's like, I need to be living for me.
Oh my God, I need to leave. Priscilla is like the perfect example of frontal lobe kicking in. She was like, oh, I gotta get the fuck out of here. And that was really probably so hard for her to do.
Yeah. So I think that happened as along with her frontal lobe development. She also decided to leave him after he sexually assaulted her. And that's
Yes.
what slightly dabbled in the movie, but didn't exactly show. But he did sexually assault her, which she wrote about in her book.
So that scene in Priscilla when Elvis calls her up to the hotel room and then pinned her down and
Yeah,
so that was basically a watered down
yeah,
version of marital rape that
yeah.
she
And
experienced.
at that point, Priscilla and Elvis were barely seeing each other. Like she was having her whole entire life opposite from him in Hollywood.
Yeah, she was living in LA like without
Yeah,
him most of the
yeah.
time. And
Like truly creating a life for herself.
he probably realized subconsciously that he was losing control over her and he raped her.
Hmm.
Which is fucking disgusting and not at all surprising given the way the relationship started. And I wonder, do you know why Sophia made the choice not to put that in the movie? Was it at Priscilla's request? Was it like she didn't want to get sued? Like, what do you know anything about that?
No, I think maybe. Well, guess I can't really speak to it. Let me see.
I'm
Yeah, I
just
guess
curious.
kind of she just decided not to show the sexual assault. I think Priscilla doesn't consider herself a victim, and Sophia wanted to stick to the facts of Priscilla's perspective.
Yeah, so maybe it was just an artistic choice so that she wouldn't have to spend so much of the movie like grappling with that assault. It happens and then I think the next scene is she's like, "Yeah, I'm fucking leaving you." So I did want to bring that up. What do you think about the two different versions of the Priscilla leaving scene? So in the Elvis version of Priscilla leaving, Austin Butler plays it so much more like emotional, you know? And so he's crying, I believe, and
Yeah,
he takes it really hard and he's like at the bottom of the staircase, you know, like a little kid would be like begging her to stay and like hugging her like around her stomach, like very much kind of driving home that like mother child like weird relationship that he had and that dynamic that he had with a lot of women in his life. And then the Priscilla version of it is much more like cold, and he's just like, all right, well, I mean, leave if you're gonna leave, I guess. Like, but I do find it interesting. Like, there's another connection between those two scenes. Did you notice how? I mean, I'm sure you have. You've seen it 3 times, but in Elvis, he literally says, and it was so on the nose. I actually hated this. He like looks at the camera and is like, "I will always love you."
Yeah. Oh my God.
So cheesy. I was like, Baz, you're doing too much. Like, we
Oh,
get it.
and I think in Priscilla he said something like another time, another place, or
Exactly. And then she plays the song, I Will Always Love You, which was like Elvis and Priscilla's song, I guess, by Dolly Parton. Um, so it was just such a different way to show the breakup, I think, and I
yeah.
felt like again, what's the real version? Uh,
Yeah.
you know?
The in the in Elvis, the portrayal of Priscilla left, but she was still around.
Oh, right. Mhm.
And I think that was probably true because I mean, they still had a daughter together, and
Yes.
her whole
Yeah.
life kind of was just Elvis.
I said the same thing. I said from age 14 to current day, she's 80 years old. From 14 to 80, her entire identity has been Elvis. And that's got to be so psychologically damaging to a person. I can't imagine like as a woman, as a human being, just as any like just my whole existence being tied up into one person and one thing my whole life. Like that's so fucking sad. Um and I think that again, Elvis, to give it props, the scene where they're doing like a custody handoff with Lisa Marie and she just like sits in the car with him and like holds his hand and she's like, please go to rehab and like get I'm like getting emotional. It's so like you could tell that they still were very close and she still
Yeah.
loved him and
Yeah.
he's still very much loved her. He never married again. He never had any other kids. Like he I really do think like she was kind of it for him. Like he had other girlfriends and stuff while they were together, but also after they were together. But I do feel like that scene did a really good job of showing how close they were and how much they cared for each other even after they broke up. And I maybe almost wish we got a little bit of that in Priscilla. I felt like it was a little abrupt to just like end it right
Yeah.
when
I
she's
don't
moving
know
out.
how I felt about the ending.
Especially, I loved it the first time I saw it, but after seeing Elvis first, and then I was like, oh, wait, there is more to their relationship that I didn't know about. I
Yeah.
never saw because you don't get any of that in Priscilla. So I think that is another like plus mark for the Elvis version of the story. You just get to see the last you get to see like more of their life apart, I guess. Their life as a divorced couple, co-parenting and whatnot. I thought it was really interesting. It gave me kind of like a I don't know how to put it. It felt kind of like oh, you don't know this reference. You've never seen it. Never mind. Um, you've seen The
Wait,
Sopranos.
I've seen a little bit of it.
Oh, so it gave me kind of like Carmela and Tony from The Sopranos. Like even when they're apart, they're still kind of together, you know?
Yeah.
Um, and I just felt like it was really one of the most down to earth and realistic parts of Elvis was those few scenes. And yeah, when they get into all the addiction stuff, fucking crazy.
There's like so much that makes the two movies tie together, but it's so interesting how different each character is.
Yeah. Yeah. It really struck me how different the both the Elvises and the Priscillas were.
Yeah.
Um I meant to talk about Olivia DeJong's version of Priscilla from the movie Elvis. Thank you for reminding me. Um, she plays her. I mean, especially now compared to Kaylee Spaney, Olivia DeJong plays Priscilla as much more like bold, like brassy. They kind of go out of their way to make Priscilla seem like she was the one who was like pursuing him, which of course may have been the case. Again, we don't know, but
Ooh, I do want to say something.
she's
Elvis and
14.
Priscilla is why little 14-year-old girls would go to One Direction concerts thinking that they were gonna hook up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That is exactly what was that's exactly what I was going to say. I didn't write it down, but it did strike me. It made
This is a
me think,
fanfic.
yes, I was going to say the Elvis version of this story is like the fanfic of like what it's like to get with a rock star.
Yeah,
And the Priscilla version of the story is like, yeah, it fucking
the
sucks.
dark reality.
It sucks. In fact, he's never around, and when he is, he's goofing around with his like loser sycophant, friend group who they're all on his payroll, and his yes men, and the colonel who runs every aspect of his life, and then he's mean to me, so and on drugs all the time. It's really not. But yeah, you're right. It really, I think the Elvis and Priscilla story did inspire like generations upon generations of women to desire that, like, or to have that fantasy of like, oh, I'm going to be a rock star's wife, and oh, I'm going to be like so glamorous and rich and famous, and
At 15 years
at
old.
15 years old. Yeah, it never works out like that, but it did give very much like fan fiction, like, oh, wouldn't it be so cool if this happened to me? And
Yeah.
did you know that Harry Styles was one of the people who was
I saw that you put that in the notes. I'm really glad that didn't happen.
me too, sorry,
He
Kate.
is not a good actor. I'm sorry. We saw him in Don't Worry, Darling. That's all we need to see.
Girl, Don't Worry, Darling was a fucking mess. That man cannot act. But
Mm-mm. So sorry.
it would have been like a really cool like meta kind
Yeah.
of story if it was Harry Styles as Elvis, but nah, Austin Butler killed it. Another interesting casting choice. Miles Teller was apparently like really close
I
in
need
the
to look
running,
up who that is.
from Whiplash, he's from some kid series that I can't remember. I think he's in, what is it, Divergent, or the other one? They're Maze Runner. I don't know. They're all the same.
Oh, yeah.
He was in the like really bad Fantastic Four movie that I've never seen. Divergent. Yeah, I was right. He's in Divergent. Um and Top Gun Maverick. So Miles Teller was almost cast as Elvis as well. So Aaron Taylor Johnson was another choice, which
Yikes. That's a little too close to home for him.
oh god, because of his like 50-year-old wife. I didn't even
Yeah.
think of that. Oh, brother. Yeah, you're right. No, that would have been
That would have
wild.
sent him into like a
Girl,
psychotic. I don't even want to know.
that would have sent him into like a full on like identity crisis. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, because he'll be like, oh, I'm playing a 24-year-old guy who's going after a 14-year-old? That's weird. And then he'll be like, oh shit, that's what my wife did to me.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still with her. Oh my god, don't even get me started
They're
on
still
Aaron.
with her, has kids.
Free my mans. Free him.
Please.
She met him when he was a child. That
I
is
would see
so fucking
much
gross.
so much stuff about the person that will break them up is Joey King. Cause she's gone with so many hot guys.
Joey King, or one of Austin Butler's exes,
Yeah.
Kaya Gerber.
Mm-hmm.
Kaya Gerber.
Yes.
She be racking them
Somebody
up.
needs to break that cycle.
Please, someone, I beg.
Snap that man out of whatever he's in.
Oh, free Aaron Taylor Johnson. Yeah, that would have been,
Mm-hmm.
again, a very weird meta choice, but in a
Yeah.
different way. Ansel Elgort was also almost cast as Elvis.
Isn't he like not a good person or something?
Yes, I think this was right around the time that he had that big like rape scandal. And that's probably why he didn't get farther in the process. But yeah, those are the main casting what ifs that I could find on Elvis, but it seemed like, especially from Lerman's take on it, that it was kind of always Austin Butler's role to lose, and he I don't think any of them would have done better than him.
His dedication is just really commendable.
Yeah. It really won me over. Like, even like I said, I did not enjoy the first hour and 10 minutes of this movie, but I kept watching because of him, pretty much exclusively because of him.
Yeah,
He had me from the first scene. I I guess I had really had a lot of like negative baggage and very low expectations that I was bringing into this, and he really turned me around very quickly. And then the movie itself turned around for me much slower, but even through all the like cheesy, cartoonish, like fourth wall breaking goofiness of that first hour, there's no denying Austin Butler is an absolute powerhouse. And I didn't know going into this that he did do all his singing and dancing, and it he was just so impressive.
honestly, well, after that was his biggest role Dune, uh,
Yeah,
Dune, Dune 2,
for sure.
and he did
He
so good in that.
Yes. Oh, Fade Rautha. He is that man is I think he's the next big star. Like, I mean, he already kind of has come up on that. Like, he basically got cast in Dune 2 because of Elvis. Did you know that?
If I knew it was because you told me.
Yeah. But yeah, people like were checking for him immediately after this movie came out and the Oscar nomination, of course. And they were like, "Oh yeah, this is the guy." And I agree. I agree, quite
Did you,
frankly.
did you ever watch Zoe 101?
No, that's after my
He
time.
was in like a few episodes of it.
Yeah, I
He
heard
was
he's a
really,
big
really young.
Yeah, I heard he's a big child star. I had no experience with him. The first thing I ever saw him in was um Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh,
That's
wow.
where my memory starts of him. Everyone's like, "Oh yeah, he's a Disney star. He's Zoe 101." I was like, "Yeah, I don't know what that is." So I've never seen he's on what, like Zack and Cody or something else like that, or Hannah
Yeah,
Montana.
maybe.
I can't remember.
He's in a
One of those
bunch of
shows.
stuff.
I don't know. But
Maybe
anyway,
iCarly. I can't
oh,
remember.
maybe. I've never seen any of those shows. So he was not familiar to me. And I think almost that works to my advantage because I was able to just take him at face value as an adult with no baggage and no like child star kind of like stink on him. You know, sometimes it's hard for actors to get away from that, you know, like Zendaya and whatnot. It takes some time
Yeah.
sometimes for people to take you seriously and like treat you as an adult when you're like a former Disney kid, but also I think a lot of that former Disney kid training works to his advantage in this movie and in this performance, you know? What did you think of Olivia DeJong's performance as Priscilla?
I kind of just get confused when I try to think about their differences because they're supposed to be the same person, but their personalities are entire opposites.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm like,
see.
where's the overlap and where's like the fabrication?
Ah, so you don't see the overlap in the same way that we get a little bit of Butler and a Lordy overlap.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that. I feel like I mean, she was obviously given a lot less to work with, so it's not her fault. I just felt like it really, you're right. It did feel like it was a different person, like a completely different version of the same person. And I was like, I don't understand how we got here.
Yeah, it's like in Elvis, she's the rock star's wife and she has to deal with his rock star antics.
Yeah, very
And
much like
Priscilla,
sidelined.
yeah. And in Priscilla, like she is entirely extracted from like Elvis and his fame, miles apart.
Miles. Yeah, we never I meant to bring that up too. I do love the way that we spend so much time with Priscilla just doing like mundane things. Like
Yeah.
she's reading magazines, she's watching TV by herself.
And
She's
then
in
learning
school.
karate.
Yes, yeah, she's learning karate. She's going to the hair salon. Just like
Like the mental capacity to be able to like snap yourself out of something you've been going through since you're 14 is
yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. I love the way they show her, and especially through Kaylee's performance. I love the way they show her grow up. And in Elvis and Austin's performance, I also have the same kind of point, or I have the same admiration for the way he played Elvis as a very young boy all the way until 42 when he died. Austin and Kaylee both got like a huge range of time to show. Kaylee played her over 11, 12 years, and Austin played obviously, what, 30 years of his character, and they both did such a great job transitioning from teenagers who are like very pie-eyed and like even like the physicality, their voices are higher, their posture's different, they're more like childlike in their appearance, all the way into their mid 20s for Priscilla and then early 40s for Elvis. I thought that was really well done for both movies, both
Yeah.
performances.
Honestly, I feel like Priscilla and Elvis are more compatible than their versions, like Priscilla with Jacob Elordi Elvis. And
Oh my God. Wait, I see what you're saying. So like if we swapped like Olivia DeYoung with Jacob Elordi and Kaylee
yeah,
Spaney with Austin Butler, I
yeah,
agree. Ooh,
yeah, that's weird
swap
to think
them.
about.
Swap them, but in which movie? What movie would you put Kaylee Spaney and Austin
Well,
Butler together
I
in
feel
as
like
Elvis and Priscilla?
Austin Butler Elvis is the fantasy,
Mm-hmm.
and where Priscilla will be treated sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So you want Kaylee Spaney into Elvis and Olivia DeYoung into Priscilla.
yeah, and it's almost like Olivia DeYoung plays the role of someone who could put up with Elvis, but in reality, it's like she couldn't.
Yeah, for sure.
Does
I
that
see what you're
make
saying. Yeah,
sense?
yeah, they
Like
make her
her boldness
more feisty, for
is like the
sure.
type of woman that Elvis needs, but
Yeah.
that's not who she
And
was.
again, she's the fantasy version of Priscilla.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
And I think she fits better with the more realistic version of Elvis. Wow. A swap. That's that's a really good mental exercise. I wonder if there's other
Yeah.
movies you can do that with where you like swap out like A Star is Born, if you put like Chris Christopherson into the Bradley Cooper role and put him with Lady Gaga, like, and put Bradley Cooper with Barbara Streisand, like, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
That's
we're on to
fun.
something.
That's fun. I like that. Ooh. Yeah, maybe we should make that like a recurring bit. Great point.
Elvis with Austin Butler is the glorification of him.
It was probably so hard to live with someone like that, through kind of the beginning of his absolute downfall
Yeah.
into drug addiction.
And looking at it about what we learn that the Colonel did to Elvis, and
Yes.
then taking that with Priscilla, like we got to see like the high of the drugs, but then behind closed doors how he was like crashing out
Yeah.
at home.
That's such a good point. Wow, well done. Because yeah, oh my God, you brought me right back on track. That was something else I forgot to mention earlier, but I can't we made it. No, I can't believe we made it this far in the pod. No, JK. I did touch on it earlier, but yeah, living with a drug addict, especially one who's one of the most rich and famous people in the world, um, must have been fucking insanity. It must have been so hard for her. And I do like that. I don't know which one I prefer as far as how they portrayed the drug aspect. They both have different merits, but I did like how absolutely horrible Baz Luhrmann's version made it seem. Even though Priscilla wasn't in a lot of those scenes at all and wasn't, you don't see how it's affecting his wife and his child. The way he's acting, like that's kind of like a non-factor in Elvis, but the the toll that that took on Elvis, like physically and mentally, I felt like it came across much clearer in that version, whereas Priscilla, it's kind of more subtle and she leaves him before the worst of it, so we don't get to see that last like what is it, 10 years or so of his
Yeah.
life. He
Yeah,
only
like
lives
we
another 10 years after she leaves him. It's fucking crazy. Not even
I
10
think
years. I'm sorry. Like 6 to 8 years.
after they divorced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not even 10 years. And he was drugged up the entire time.
If you had never seen Elvis, it would have just looked like he's an abusive asshole.
Right.
And he was.
He was, for sure. We're not letting him off the hook
Um,
for it. But there's a reason why he was
yeah.
behaving that way.
Yeah. And the ways that Elvis and Priscilla would spend time together, like they'd just be in bed on drugs, getting
Yeah.
meals sent to them just all
Yeah.
throughout the day. And that's how he was coping with like what he was going through. But
For years.
yeah,
Years they were
it's
doing
a
that.
sticky situation.
He started doing drugs in the army in the 1950s. They were issuing him fucking speed to stay
Yeah.
awake. And that's what he was giving Priscilla to stay awake to go to school. So he was already hooked on speed, amphetamines 10, 15 years before. Let me think. That was late 50s? Yeah, since the late 50s at least, and probably even earlier. I mean, that dude loved drugs. And he was hooked on it for pretty much not pretty much. He was hooked on drugs his entire adult life. His entire life, it's crazy. Um, so I do like that Priscilla showed no, this wasn't like some coping mechanism after, he got fucked over by the colonel. He was like that for decades.
Yeah.
And it killed him, and it killed him so young. He died at 42. It's oh my God, it was a really hard. I think it was a lot harder to watch his descent into the addiction in the Elvis version. Um, but I think the origin story of his drug addiction was done better in Priscilla. What do you think?
Let me remember correctly, because I remember briefly in Elvis, someone when he was in still maybe in like the circus, but still with the colonel, someone was like, "Here, take this. It'll, uh, I don't know, help you stay up." But definitely not.
Oh yeah, it's like a quick little throwaway.
Yeah,
And then they
it
like
was much
basically
more
don't.
casual.
Yeah, you're right. They do. Okay, you're right. They do mention it, and that was obviously pre-army. Yeah. So you're right. There is a earlier drug origin story in the Elvis version, not Priscilla, but it's yeah, it's just kind of like blown past. Like, oh, here, take this pill, kid, whatever, and you like spend no time or thought with it because the movie
Yeah,
is just
because
like flashing lights and screaming and singing and dancing for like another hour until
and
you
I
really deal with
guess
the consequence of that.
yeah, like to Elvis's defense, but also not.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. Nuance. There. It's
like
there.
he was told like, "Oh, just take this. It's fine." So of course he would do that to Priscilla, like, "Oh, just take this. It's fine."
No, 100%. And that is how like flippant a lot of doctors were at that time about these drugs. I mean, that's what killed Marilyn Monroe, Judy Garland, like so many fucking celebrities were just dropping dead and so young, hooked on the hardest drugs known to man, like horse tranquilizers. Like you would not survive one dose. He was on 19,000 different doses of amphetamines and barbiturates and painkillers by the time he finally died. Um, yeah, amphetamines, opiates, and barbiturates all together were in his system at all times for years. Years. And he was still performing in Vegas like every night. How the fuck do you live like that?
Yeah, no, and honestly, like, what a talented guy. Because,
Yeah, I know. Honestly,
like,
kind of a slay.
honestly, the fact for you
I
to be
could not survive that.
hooked on drugs and be playing Unchained Melody, the most beautiful ever, and
On a piano in front
function,
of
yes,
thousands of people
like,
every night.
props to you, because
I
that's
cannot believe.
insane.
I cannot believe he did that. He was zooted out of his mind. They said people who were in his in the audience of his last few concerts, they said he didn't even know where he fucking was. That's how drugged up he, and I believe it. He was completely gone and he's still giving his all to his performances. That man was a born entertainer. That is no lie.
Yes,
And he was
absolutely.
scary good at what he did. But also that's what killed him, you know? It's like you said, the drugs brought him up, but they also completely tore him apart, tore him down. And the Colonel is a big, big part of how and why that all happened. And I just think it's kind of odd that it wasn't, not that it needed to be focused on him at all, because he is, I think, too prominent in Elvis. But the fact that he's not in Priscilla at all, I
Yeah.
found a little odd. I'd say a little
I
odd,
mean,
especially now that I've seen the other version of this story. I didn't even know who the Colonel was when the first time I saw Priscilla.
when I think about how Priscilla was written from the perspective of Priscilla, and I mean, she was a toy and a pet,
Hmm.
and I mean, she probably didn't even know much about what was happening with the Colonel, because I don't think in either movie it was like, you need to stop this relationship with the Colonel. Because, I mean, she was just a child, not really in the adult's business.
Oh, you're so right. Yeah, that's a really good perspective. Maybe the Colonel's not in Priscilla's version of the movie and, her story as much because she didn't interact with him as much. You're
Yeah,
right.
like, I mean, she could have just known him to be like Elvis's business manager.
Yeah, you're right. We don't I mean I'm sure it's in the book. And I know there was a lot of lawsuits and stuff after Elvis died because of the way he, handled the money and mismanaged Elvis into the ground.
Can we talk about his dad?
Yes, we can. For sure. There was something interesting about his dad that I found out. It's like the cycles of abuse be cycling because his dad, I mean, it's not as severe, but it's still a little odd. But his dad was only 17 when his mom married him, and she was
Oh,
22.
wow. You're kidding.
No, I'm not. So I was like, oh, your mother did it to your father, and then you did it
Oh,
to Priscilla.
oh my God, that
Yeah,
makes even more sense. Honestly,
right?
I'm like
It's
pretty convinced that the mom was a sicko.
I I have very, very, very I just she gives me the ick. I have a
Yeah.
very kind of strong feeling that she was molesting him or doing
Mm-hmm.
something weird to
Yeah.
him. I
Yeah.
there's something about their relationship it just seems really like unnecessarily close and in a way that's super inappropriate for mother and son. I
How do you feel about the supposed fact that Priscilla and Elvis didn't have sex until after they married?
I don't believe it at all. I don't believe it at all in either version of that story. I'm sorry, I just don't. I, I know it's the 1950s, and they probably kept it very hush hush. There's no way. There's no way. I think that
Yeah,
he
I
probably took her virginity when she was 14 or 15, and that's why she waited for him for 2 fucking years to talk to her again, and why he eventually moved her there. I I don't know. What do you think?
I mean
Do you, I think maybe she was protecting him, which is why she didn't say that that happened in the book, but she said
yeah.
that he raped her in the book as an adult, so I don't it's very hard to say.
Yeah, it is hard to say. I don't want to speculate, I guess.
The show This show is built on speculation, though. So, I mean, it's
This is
worth
like
talking about. Like, what do you think?
yeah.
Because she didn't say anything about what it was like with Elvis until 1985. So that's almost 10 years after he was dead. You know, she waited like a long time to speak her truth at all. And is it the full truth? I don't know. I don't know. I, I, th- I have a very strong suspicion. Again, this
I
is
mean,
just
it's
speculation that they were physical
yeah. I mean, they
before they got
definitely did
married. Like, come
stuff.
on.
They for sure did stuff.
Yeah, there's no way.
But I
That's what I
mean,
think.
yeah, I don't know, cause I guess if they were having sex, surely she would have had a kid much earlier than she did. But I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, not always. Not always. Maybe they were just lucky. Um, you know, not to be too graphic. I mean, was she even on her period when,
Oh yeah, that's true.
you know what I mean? I, that's really, God, it's so tough to even say, and we'll never know the truth. But I do think it is an interesting question because it isn't portrayed in either movie that way. And only two people really know for sure, and one of them is 80 years old and certainly isn't going to say so, and the other one's been dead for 50 years. So I don't know. I don't know.
Do you think that there's a possibility Elvis has other kids out there?
I always wondered that too. But apparently he he was cheating on Priscilla for sure, but it was always with like pretty famous women. Like I don't think he was with any like civilians or any like I don't it doesn't give Love Child to me, honestly, and I don't think we'd go this far into history without it being discovered. Not
Yeah,
not in this
that's
day and
true.
age with DNA testing and with just the internet and like the surveillance state that we live in. I don't think there's any descendant of Elvis who wouldn't be under like a mega spotlight, under like severe scrutiny. I just don't think we'd go this long without knowing that. But maybe speaking on just the overall tragedy of his this family lineage, it's very like Kennedy-esque because Elvis's mother died at 46 years old. Elvis died at 42. His father died at 63. And then Lisa Marie only made it to 54. Not a single one of these people has made it past 63 years old. Isn't that fucking crazy?
Some shitty ass genetics.
Yeah, that's so young. The only surviving members are Priscilla at 80 and Riley Keough, his granddaughter.
Yeah, that's right, because I didn't know this, but Lisa Marie Presley had a son named Benjamin, and he died by suicide in 2020 at 27 years old.
Oh my God. So he didn't even make it till 30. I I would be so I wonder what it's like for Riley Keough to just
Yeah,
be surrounded by all of this fucking heartbreak and tragedy and like her whole family is dead.
yeah, I'm
Um
so curious what life is like for her.
Me too.
But we love her.
We love her. What's crazy is I don't even know if did you know that she was Elvis's granddaughter when we had
No.
seen yeah. So when Lindsay and I saw what is that fucking Sasquatch movie?
Oh my gosh, Sash Squat Sunset.
Yeah, when we saw Sasquatch Sunset together, I like leaned over at one point and I was like, that's Jesse Eisenberg, right? And you were like dying. And then I was like, and that's Elvis's granddaughter. That's Riley Keough. And you're like, she's Elvis's
Crazy.
granddaughter. Yeah, we're big fans of her. Actually, we're gonna be continuing the Presley saga in a different way. We're covering Riley Keough's movie Zola very
Yes, I'm
soon.
so freaking excited to watch
Yeah.
that again.
Me
Such a
too.
good
Me
movie.
too. I love that movie. That was a pandemic watch for me. Live in the Presley verse for these two episodes, in very different ways. But yeah, she's the only surviving blood relative of Elvis. Honestly, I mean, sadly, it makes me kind of worried for her. Like,
Yeah, I know.
she lost her brother, her
I don't want to
mother, her
speak that into
grandparents.
existence,
No,
but
I
it's
know, me neither.
scary.
I know, I felt bad saying it, but I'm like, I don't know, I'm worried about
Like
her.
we're all thinking it.
We're all we're all thinking it. But all jokes aside, I do hope she's okay. She's been through so much and must be so
Yeah.
hard. Speaking of Lisa Marie, did you want to get into the latest? And literally while we were recording this, there's like new bombshell news dropping about Priscilla
Yeah.
as we speak. So, did you want to touch on that?
Yeah. So there's a lot of conspiracy about her death that Priscilla Presley actually pulled the plug on Lisa Marie. I
Like,
guess while she was being hospitalized
mhm.
before her death. Apparently, Lisa Marie was about to write out all of Priscilla's rights
Oh, that's right. She was
to,
about to cut her out of the will.
yeah,
Yeah, isn't that fucking crazy? I mean, I hope to God she didn't do that, but again, this family is so tragic and so mysterious. We're never gonna fucking know.
yeah.
We're never gonna
Um,
know. But it is very suspicious that Lisa Marie was like beefing with her mother, and they always had a very, very like tense kind of off relationship, from what I remember being a kid
I'm
when
so
Lisa
sorry.
Marie was married to Michael Jackson. And during that whole time period, like Priscilla was very like in her like stage mom kind of uh vibe, where she was very she was trying to basically like be the star, and be more out in like movies and all of that kind of thing. It felt very, well, look at me, I need attention kind of, which is understandable when you've been locked in a room for like, half your life, only existing for Elvis. Um,
Yeah, imagine being Elvis's wife and you have no
Nothing
one to
else.
like share that fame with.
Nothing else. You have nothing else and no one else.
Yeah.
And now he's gone, been gone for years, and the only thing left of him is your daughter. So I think there was a little bit of a weird relationship. I haven't looked too much into that time period. I don't know anything about recent history between them, but there was rumors, and been very heavily implied that um, Priscilla was going to be cut out of the Presley estate completely, lose all like financial rights and whatever rights she does have to Graceland. I don't know
Yeah.
if I feel like it all went to Riley. I think Riley owns Graceland.
Yeah. Yeah, she does. She has all the rights now.
Okay. So what, in her defense, what would Priscilla gain by pulling the plug on her own daughter?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the idea is a little far-fetched to me.
It's worrisome. But who put forth the lawsuit? Like, who is it? Riley?
Lisa Marie's lawyers.
Oh, okay. Is it on Riley's behalf? Like, is she suing her grandmother, or is it?
I think Riley, so I don't know much of Riley's stance on whether or not Priscilla had anything to do with Lisa Marie's death, but I did read that Lisa Marie did not approve of Sofia Coppola's Priscilla coming out. And
Oh.
Riley also backed behind that.
Oh, so Priscilla approved of the movie,
Yes.
um, but Lisa Marie and Riley did not.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh, I did not know that. Oh
And
shit.
yeah, here is the time for my fun fact. But so I didn't know this either, but Lisa Marie was married. Lisa Marie was married to Nicolas Cage briefly.
Yeah. Uh,
And Nicolas Cage and Sofia Coppola are cousins.
yeah, that I knew. I know the whole Coppola dynasty, which also includes Jason Schwartzman, one of my absolute favorites. That's her cousin as well.
Oh
Um,
my gosh.
yeah, I knew about all of that, but I don't remember him being married to Lisa Marie. Was this before or after Michael Jackson? When was this?
Let me see.
Why don't I remember them even? I don't even remember Lisa Marie and Nicolas Cage being a couple.
They were married for 3.5 months in 2002.
3 months? Okay, so that was way after Michael Jackson. Wild. 3 months?
Well, okay, maybe they
Oh,
were
Nicholas
together
must
for a little longer and
Nicholas
then
must
only
have put her
married.
through hell.
Yeah.
He must have put her through hell. 14 weeks? She said nah. Who filed for
Yeah.
divorce?
Who filed for divorce? Lisa Marie or Nicholas?
I'm gonna go Lisa Marie, final answer.
It was Nicholas Cage.
Oh! Oh my god.
Whoa.
Whoa. Okay, I take that back, Nicholas. I'm sorry. Maybe she was putting you through hell. Um, very
Huh.
sadly, I don't mean to joke about it, but she did also have very severe drug addiction issues, much like her father. I mean, it's hereditary, of course, and
Yeah.
uh I mean both of her parents were drug addicts. But I totally yeah, that you dropped a bomb. I did not know that.
It's so funny.
Yeah, and that connects all the way back around to movie land. We went from Elvis to Priscilla to Riley to Nicholas to Sophia
Oh my gosh.
to Austin and back around again. And the only fun fact that I had that's related is that right before Lisa Marie passed away, Austin Butler went to the Met Gala with Priscilla in late 2022. Um, and Lisa Marie died in early 2023, so maybe she didn't necessarily endorse the Elvis movie as well, but she was at least friendly with Austin Butler and knew him and like spent time with him after Elvis came out, but before the Priscilla movie came out. So, yeah. Um and I think that's everything about these two movies.
What are some of your final thoughts and recommendations for similar work?
So, I think the only final thought I really want to hit is look at the difference between two people's culture, age, nationality, and perspective when they're telling parts of the exact same story and how impactful that is to their art and how impactful it is to the final product. I just loved covering this with you as like a case study for same story, different director,
Yeah.
right? I just think when you get to see and this is one of the reasons why I love movies so much is even when people say that they're not putting themselves in the movie, you kind of inherently are, right? Because your perspective is that of a white woman or a white man or a Gen Xer or a millennial or someone who grew up with money, someone who didn't, vice versa. Like, there's just so many different ways to tell a story, even if you're telling the same story. And I think that experience that writers and directors bring to their projects kind of gets lost. I feel like people don't look at movies the way we do enough, where I'm looking at the movie, but I'm looking kind of almost through the movie, at the person who made it.
Yeah.
And I feel like I get to know people so much better through their art and through the way that they make things, basically. So yeah, that was the biggest sticking point, the thing that stood out most to me about watching these two movies literally back to back, knowing that they were made at the same time period by two completely different people and what we got out of the final product. Loved seeing that. That's one of my favorite types of ways to watch movies. Um, and as far as recommendations go, um, I have a few. I don't, like I said, I don't love music biopics, so I'll leave
I do.
those. I know. I will leave a lot of those to you. The only one that I'm really gonna call out is What's Love Got to Do with It, the Tina Turner biopic. Have you ever seen this? Starring Angela Bassett and Lawrence Fishburne.
Yes, I have seen
Oof.
this.
I think it's one of the best ones. It's fucking hard to watch though, so trigger warning on that, but
Yeah, it's been a while since I've watched it.
it's a hard watch as far as the domestic violence and all of that. Tina Turner, you want to talk resilient? Jesus Christ. So What's Love Got to Do with It? Definitely recommend that. Coal Miner's Daughter, which I've only seen pieces of, but that one is pretty much specifically for Kate. Um, it was one of the first movies I ever recommended to her on my letterbox list that I made her. And she loved it, and she was like, okay, I want more movies like that. So Coal Miner's Daughter, it's a 1980 movie about Loretta Lynn, the country singer. So it's one of the few biopics. I got that's funny. The two that I chose are uh female rock stars and as the leads instead of the traditional. Maybe it's more so the male led music
Yeah,
biopics that I
there's
just there's
a lot
so
of them.
many and they're
Yeah.
all the same. So those are my two non-white male led music biopic recommendations. Um, Also, speaking of Riley Keough, Elvis and Priscilla's granddaughter, I'm gonna recommend a TV show, which I almost never do, but it's a miniseries, and I'm pretty sure it's not coming back, so it's fair game because it's on Letterboxd. Daisy Jones and the Six, which was an Amazon show that came out, I think, right after the pandemic. And it's kind of loosely based on the Fleetwood Mac story. So it's Elvis's granddaughter playing a fictionalized version of Stevie Nicks. Um,
Wow. I haven't seen it yet.
the layers of just again very very meta storytelling there going on, but yeah, I haven't finished it yet, but it's incredible. Anybody who's interested in like a television series instead of a movie, I would definitely check that out. As far as movies go, I'm going to recommend two Sofia Coppola movies. Obviously, The Virgin Suicides. It's basically the origin story um, of the Priscilla aesthetic and subject matter. You still haven't seen this one, right?
Mm-mm. No.
Amazing. I cannot wait. We're definitely doing this one. We're definitely doing Virgin Suicides. This is one of my favorite movies. This is Sofia Coppola's first movie. She was 24 or something when she made it. Um,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. And it's starring Kirsten Dunst and four other women. They're all sisters who are trapped in the house by very, very strict religious parents who, eventually pull them out of school. And once they lose that connection to the outside world, a big chunk of the movie is just them sitting in their bedroom on their shag carpet, listening to records and reading magazines together until tragedy strikes. Um, Highly recommend that one. And Marie Antoinette is also a Sofia Coppola movie starring Kirsten Dunst, where Kirsten Dunst plays, of course, Marie Antoinette. And I think the movie starts when she's 14 and becomes a child bride of one of the kings. I don't know, Louis the 14th or whoever.
I don't know.
I don't know, one of them fucking French monarchs. And it tells a very similar story to Priscilla as far as like being married to a very, very, very rich and very, very famous man who's very like eccentric. And how isolated she is from the outside world and how the public turns on her just because of who she is. I mean, again, not quite as nuanced as, a full like historical drama. It's not really going into like the negative sides of how Marie Antoinette was treating the public and all of that. But it does give some more depth and perspective, like Elvis does, as to a controversial historical figure. And we get to see basically how she became what she became. And King Louis is Jason Schwartzman, Sophia's cousin.
Oh.
Yeah, so those are my oh, and Laurel Canyon. I just wanted to shout that out. It's a Christian Bale. It's a fictional music biopic. It's not about any like real band or anything. It's just about Christian Bale and Kate Beckinsale as a
Oh.
couple. They're so hot in this movie. This is like early 2000s, like underworld around that time for Kate Beckinsale. So this is pre-Batman. I think this is right after American Psycho, Christian Bale. So them at their like peak hotness.
Man,
And they
some good
play
recommendations.
thank you. And they play a couple who goes to visit Laurel Canyon, which is a very famous like music enclave outside of Los Angeles. And the mother is Frances McDormand. And it's about Christian Bale's like relationship with his music producer, like hippie mom. Um, yeah. And those are my recommendations for similar work for Elvis and Priscilla. What about you, Lindsay?
Um, how many of these have you seen?
Did you mean to just put crazy? Is that like the whole title?
Yeah, it's about Hank Garland, the guitar player.
Oh, the only ones I haven't seen are Crazy and Cadillac Records. I've seen all the rest of these.
Okay. I really, well, I haven't watched it in a while, but Crazy, really good just because it has great music in it, and it has the crazy chick from Obsessed with Beyonce.
Oh,
She's in it. The
is
blonde
that
girl.
Allie Larder?
Yeah, something like
Oh my God.
yeah, she's in it. It's it's pretty juicy.
What
Honestly,
year
that's
what year did this come out? Who's in it? Because you got to be a little more
2008.
okay, because you
Yeah,
can't just say
Allie
crazy. I was trying to search this up and I was like, crazy what?
Crazy 2008
Okay.
musical drama with
Oh,
Allie Larder, Waylon Payne.
I've never heard of this movie.
Yeah,
Um,
it's from what I can remember, it's just got good music, and that's
mhm.
all I'll say.
And it's based off of a real musician?
Yeah,
Oh.
Hank Garland,
Oh. What time period is this from? Like,
1950s Nashville.
oh, okay. Right on
I
okay,
think
right on
there's
same state, same
actually
time period.
there's a scene in this movie that has Elvis in it.
Oh my God, even better. Look at that. Okay, great
Yeah.
recommendation. I will definitely check that out. I've never seen this.
Also, Cadillac Records, uh, based off of the life of Etta James, and it stars
Mm.
Beyonce.
Mm-hmm.
It is, again, beautiful music. I think that's why I love biopics so much.
Yeah, I really want to see this one.
Yeah, I haven't seen this movie in a really long time, but Beyonce performs a lot of Etta James songs, and she just crushes it. It's
Ooh.
phenomenal.
Oh, say less. I'm in.
We would rent this movie from the library a lot, and me and my sister would just be sitting like belting Etta James along with Beyonce, and
Oh my God.
you just
Aw.
have to see it.
That sounds good. Yeah, I think I'll like that, especially given how much I liked Dreamgirls. Um, Speaking of Dreamgirls,
Yeah, Dreamgirls. Hello.
hello. Um, I covered Dreamgirls. I'm gonna do a quick plug. I covered Dreamgirls on an episode of Stone's Top Tens, a couple seasons back. If you want to listen to me, rant about how much I love this movie for about 2 hours. I'm a late Dreamgirls fan. I didn't see it until like 2 years ago, and I was like, "Oh, this movie fucking slaps." I'm so mad I didn't see this earlier. Oh my God.
I'm also going to recommend Rockstar with Mark Wahlberg and
This
Jennifer
movie is
Aniston.
fucking atrocious. I can't
It's
believe you're doing
stupid.
this.
It's
This
stupid,
movie
but
is so bad.
I
I
haven't
respect your
seen it in a
hustle,
long
though.
time, though.
Your
Uh,
commitment to recommending trash 2000s movies lives on.
yes. Walk Hard with my beautiful lover, uh, John C.
John,
Riley. John. Uh,
Yeah, your boyfriend John.
yeah, my boyfriend John, he was in this movie called Walk Hard. You should check it out.
This is like one of the greatest musical movies ever made. I stand 10 toes down on
Let me
that.
see
This
if this
is,
is streaming somewhere.
I hope so, please, because if you ever want to just,
Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story.
if you ever want to just laugh until your gut is busting, turn on Walk Hard. It really is like the end all be all of music biopics. And what year did that come out?
That was 2007.
Oh, 7. Okay, yep. That makes sense. I was in college when that came out. Walk Hard came out the same year as another movie we covered, There Will Be Blood.
Oh, wow.
What a
Wow,
great
that was
year.
great year.
It really was.
I'm also going to recommend Ray,
Mm-hmm.
uh, the movie about Ray Charles starring Jamie Foxx.
Mm-hmm. Directed by Taylor Hackford. I believe that came out in 03, 04. Jamie's Oscar-winning performance as Ray Charles, just really chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jamie Foxx as Ray Charles, I feel like Austin Butler didn't exceed, but I feel like he was at that level.
Yeah, he was in the universe.
He was in the universe as far as his performance of Elvis. If you're going to pit them against each other, which we're not, but I just think he was at that caliber is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
He really blew me away.
Yeah, I saw, because Ray is a scary movie. It's kind of scary, because Ray Charles is blind, and he would have a lot of flashbacks of how he became blind, and they would sprinkle it throughout the movie. And watching that as a little girl, terrifying.
Oh, I bet. Oh, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, I was like 16 when this came out. But yeah, I gotta say, I do like this movie, but I think this is one of the ones that was kind of like the nail in the coffin for me as far as this genre.
Yeah.
And I think what also has like colored my kind of like negative outlook on a lot of these movies. I love him, but this was one of the most annoying periods of Jamie Foxx's career. You weren't outside for this, but my girl, he went on every show and every award show and every red carpet for like a year and a half, basically, doing a full-on Ray Charles impression every chance he got. It was diabolical. For a year of press coverage, it would just be him like every you think I'm fucking joking? Look it up. I was fucking there.
God.
He would be on the red carpet doing it. He would be on Good Morning America doing it. He was on every fucking late night show doing it. He does it in the Kanye West song, Gold Digger.
Oh my God.
He did that for like a year. It drove me fucking
it's
crazy.
It's just how you chalk him up to a theater kid.
He's such a theater kid. He was fully committing to at least Austin wasn't doing like the Elvis dance at the Met Gala, like on the red carpets.
Oh my gosh.
But he couldn't lose the voice. I do feel bad about that. But yeah, I think Ray in that whole time period of like movie history really just broke me.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
You have to look it up. Oh my God, it pissed me off so bad. But aside from all that, the movie itself, from what I remember, I haven't seen it since I was in high school. It's a really good movie.
It's a good movie.
I just, it pisses me off thinking about it. That's just my own bias. I am a survivor of the 2004 Ray Awards campaign. We should make t-shirts. It was a lot. He wouldn't stop.
I've just seen the movie so many times. I know exactly what you're talking about.
He did it, Lindsay. He did it when he accepted his Oscar. He went up there and started, mm, mm, mm. That's what I say.
Oh my
And
God.
everybody in the audience was singing along with him. I wanted to kill myself. Oh God, I'm
Oh
I'm
my
sending it to
God.
you. It's so fucking irritating. Okay. Anyway, what's your last recommendation?
A Star is Born, which is
Which
similar.
one?
Well, I really like. What year was that?
Ooh,
The new one.
18, 19? I
I
want to
actually
say
haven't
19.
seen the first version.
Oh, no, this is like the fourth version.
Oh,
Yeah, we might cover that at some point, but there's, I think, 4, if not 5 different versions of this story.
yeah, I've only seen the 2018 version, and I loved it. I mean, I still watch that movie now.
I've only seen it once, and I really, really liked it. There's no reason I haven't revisited it, other than I just don't really rewatch a lot of things, but,
That's
yeah, I think Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga, wow.
their chemistry.
Jesus, the blogs that were living and dying by their every move during that time period. Woof. Yeah, rip to both of their relationships.
Yeah.
Great recommendation. Again, that is not an actual music biopic. It's like a fictionalized musician who becomes really
Yeah.
famous.
And it's just got some damn good singing in it.
Damn good singing, but also very related to both of these movies, because it shows like the dark side of what
Yeah.
happens once
Yeah.
she gets famous, and once they get the money, and once he has access to, you know, drugs and all of that and alcohol. It that movie is like a slam dunk for like fictional music. I totally agree. Um yeah, so that is Priscilla and Elvis. Thank everybody for listening. And what are we covering for next episode, Lindsay?
We are going to be covering the 2022 Zola, directed by Zeniska Bravo.
Perfect. And that is starring who is it starring?
It stars Taylor Page as Zola and Riley Keough as Stephanie.
Yeah. We're sticking with the Presley verse, y'all.
Oh, it's also got Coleman Domingo in it.
Yes. Yes. In one of his like funniest but most scary like roles.
Scary.
He's
Oh my
like,
gosh.
it starts off very funny, and then you're like, oh no, this man is a fucking terror. I cannot wait to talk to you about this one. I don't know if y'all have noticed this season, we're covering a lot of newer movies. Not like brand new still in theaters, but we are going to be covering like that 2020 to like 2023 range a little bit more. Yeah, we just have a lot to say about like recent-ish movies that, you know, we haven't covered yet.
Thank you everyone for listening. Please email us at postfilmclaritypod@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at postfilmclaritypod. All of our episodes are closed captioned on our YouTube channel. And our letterboxd is postfilmclarity.
Perfect.
We have a lot of great stuff on there.
There is a list of recommendations and referenced work from this and every episode we've done so far. So check us out on Letterboxd, and bye, honeys.